Hey, everybody, welcome back. Devin, the OG, the original Grognard here, back for Lock and Load Publishing, and we are taking a look at Lock and Load Tactical Digital yet again. We have done a lot of work in the last couple of weeks. We've came out with a very impressive battle generator and scenario designer DLC. Plus, there's just been a whole bunch of quality of life changes, fixes, mods, whatever you want to call it. Tom is working almost on a daily basis to improve the game, taking feedback from you, the customers, and we figured we need to go over a lot of these changes because there's been a ton of changes in the last couple of weeks, and we want to make sure everybody completely and fully understands what we've changed, what we've done, and how things work now. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by taking a look at the first page, the not really the splash screen, but the opening menu that you get into when you log into the game. There has been a little bit change in the multiplayer lobby. We've got this little network button now. And if you're looking for an opponent, if you want to try to find someone to play multiplayer online, you just hit that. The network button will show up green and it'll list you as, hey, look, that's me. Yes, that's my Steam name. Right there that I am looking for an opponent. And so if you want to sit there, wait for other people to log on, anything like that, bam, there you go right there. So that's a new change. Go ahead and turn that off. We have also added in a lot of language support. I mean, a ton of language support. Most of it we feel are pretty good and are fairly accurate. If you are a native language speaker of one of the languages that we have and we've done something wrong, please send us a bug report. Let us know so we can get it fixed. A couple of the language, I think the Spanish and the French and the German, we've had native speakers of those languages actually help us in making sure the translations are correct. So, you know, French, German, Spanish, Italian, Polish, Russian, Finnish, Norwegian, Japanese, Chinese. If you speak any of those languages and we did something wrong, let us know. Plus, you know, you can switch it over to your native language right then and there. We'll get a whole bunch of these buttons up here at the top. These are really cool buttons. These will take you to other cool places. So this first one takes you to the Lock and Load publishing page on Steam, which is just, you know, this is all the stuff that we've done with Lock and Load on Steam. And so you can go check out all of our games and, you know, basically everything we've done on Steam. The next one is Lock and Load Tactical Digital page specifically for Lock and Load Tactical Digital itself. So you can find all the videos. Yes, we're still early access. All the content we have. Wow, we got a lot of content. A lot of content. And just, you know, the basic Steam store page. This is for the workshop. So if you want to go and try to find scenarios and eventually maps, which I'll be getting to in a little bit. For some reason, we're not quite sure. We're still working on figuring out. It doesn't populate it. Just go ahead and hit most recent, and then this will bring up all the user-made scenarios that are out there. And if you want to subscribe and you don't know how to do it, if you want to download these, you just click on the one that seems interesting to you and just hit the subscribe button. Now, what you got to understand is the subscribe button doesn't subscribe you to everything that person does. It's just to this module. You hit the subscribe button, and let's go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and you'll see right down here at the bottom says downloading one item one, and it automatically loads it, and it shouldn't take very long. And it is in our library now, and I'll show you about that when we get into the game itself. But just wanted you to know that that is how you subscribe, and it'll automatically download any of the scenarios that you are interested in. Next we have is the Steam forums. So we got all this right here. Standard Steam forums. This button is our digital library. So this is basically a PDF of all, you know, the rule book, the interface, the hotkey guide, player aids, all the companions for all the DLCs that we have, the solo rules. We came up with a ASL to LNLT reference guide, national capabilities, scenario map list. And if you want, you just click on it, and this brings up the PDF of it. And you can zoom in and zoom out. It's got some pretty cool sound effects to go along with it. And this is basically, so for Heroes of Defiance, this is all the module rules for all the module specific rules for Heroes of the Defiance. You can see all this here. And then it goes into the scenario information, skill reference cards, I mean, and it's all right there. And if you want to, yeah, you can print it out, you can download it, do whatever you want with it. We offer this stuff for free. So there's all that in the digital library. And then for our Discord server, I'm not going to click on that because that'll take me. It takes me right to Discord, which I'm part of anyways. And then the last one is for the Lock and Load Publishing homepage. And this is just our normal homepage with, all of our upcoming stuff, our sales, our games, any support, all that good stuff, our community, the forums page, everything for Lock and Load Tactical, or for Lock and Load Publishing, not just Lock and Load Tactical. So those are kind of the biggest changes that we have to the front menu screen. So let's go ahead and jump in and take a look at the battle generator. And we're not going to take a look at the scenario editor yet. That's going to be a completely different video on its own. And there are some other additions that we've made, but I'm going to make a separate video for that. That'll be coming out soon. So let's just go ahead and take a look at the battle generator right now. Now, for the longest time, a lot of people were having an issue with the battle generator because they, it would automatically start highlighted the starter kit, and so they'd see battle generator and they try to go into the menus, but they couldn't do any of their DLCs. Well, basically what you got to do, you got to click on the specific DLC that you want to do the battle generator for. That's what we had it for the longest time. However, now you'll see we've got these little drop down menus right next to side 1, side 2 in the map packs, and you can choose whatever DLC that you own to operate the generator out of. Now, I will say you only have to buy the generator once. When you buy the generator once, it unlocks for every DLC you own. You buy the generator now and buy DLCs in the future, it's going to be unlocked for those DLCs in the future. So let's go ahead and let's work with the battle generator a little bit. So what we're going to do right now is we're just going to do a single scenario. We're not going to jump into how the campaign works yet. So we're going to do single scenario, and you can choose either side 1 or side 2 to be the attacker in it. And let's go ahead, let's go with Heroes of Defiance. And so we want the first side, we're going to do a hypothetical. We're going to set up a hypothetical battle. France in the 1950s versus the Viet Minh. Now, it's not going to be completely 100% historical, but this is going to be close enough. So we want the French, and they're coming from Heroes of Defiance. Great, excellent, not a problem. So then we want side 2. Well, come to this drop down, and you can choose the second side from any of the DLCs you own. So let's go with NVA, and let's choose Viet Cong to represent the Viet Minh. And so with Heroes of Defiance, I mean, I could choose any of the forces that are represented in Heroes of Defiance, but we're going to keep with the French. We're going to go with the Viet Cong to represent the Viet Minh. And then we're going to go down to the map. Now, again, just like the others, we've got a drop-down menu that you can select which maps, which DLC you want to pull the maps from. So let's go with Heroes of the Pacific, because that's a jungle-y type, so that would work for Vietnam, Heroes of the Nam. I could do Heroes of the Nam for the module, the map modules as well, but let's just go with Heroes of the Pacific for this example. We will be releasing the map generator DLC in the future, and so people can make up their own maps, and you can put them up on the workshop for people for other people to download. More information on that will be forthcoming when we have more information on it. But there is going to be an extra option that if you want to use just maps of people's designs that you've downloaded from the workshop, that will be another addition that you can do with the module. And then for the map size, it's 1 by 1, 1 by 2, 2 by 1, 1 by 3, 3 by 1, whatever, however you want it. I kind of like to start off with 1 by 1s. Now you get to decide the battle type. So you've got 5 different well, you can go random, but there's also attack, defend, meet engagement, major assault, search and destroy, and breakthrough. Now, well, what does all those mean? Well, you just click on, let's say you want to do attack, defend. You get this little question mark here. Hit the question mark, and that'll bring a pop-up and give you a quick rundown of what that battle is and kind of how you're going to be looking for victory points. So with attack, defend, has the aggressor side attempted to capture some or all victory hexes. And then let's say meeting engagement. Click on that. Meeting engagement has both sides attempting to control victory locations. Search and destroy. Search and destroy has both sides score victory points for eliminating enemy units, and the aggressor also receives victory points for capturing hexes, but their units are worth more victory points when eliminated the defending side, so on and so forth. If you just check out all 5 of them, see what type of scenario you want to go with, that's fine. Let's go with meeting engagement. Point type, go with random or specified. Random points means you have basically a base point set, so be it 75, 100, 150, 200, 350, 500, whatever you want. But then there's going to be a little bit random variation for both sides. So if you go with 200, one side may end up with 210 points, the other side may end up with 250. Now this all is also modified by the battle type. In attack defense scenarios, attacker will have a little bit more points to work with, so on and so forth. Uh, um, or you can do specified points where you just flat out say how much you want both sides to have. So the attackers usually get more points. So usually it takes 2.5 times, as 2.5 times to be guaranteed a victory. So side 2 is going to be defender, but this is a meeting engagement, so we want both to be even. If it was like, oh, I don't know, attack and defend, we may want to drop this down to 150. So, but since we're going to go with a meeting engagement just for the purposes of this example, go 200, both of them. Random scenario special rules. We've got several scenario special rules that are programmed into the game right now. Night, dawn, rain. There's a whole bunch of different stuff. Occasionally, you're going to see occupation and capture, or occupation and line of sight. Events that will pop up in a scenario at random. Sometimes I've seen that happen a couple times. Use unit rarity. There'll be a random. If you use the unit rarity, the more rare units sometimes won't have a chance to show up in your force pool. One example of that, and I know this from personal experience. Here is a Defiance. The French, the 14.5 Boys anti-tank rifle is a rare piece of equipment for the French, so it doesn't always show up as a force point purchase because it's a rare unit. So yeah, if you want to play with all the toys, turn unit rarity off. And then specify random seed for the people who like throwing in a bunch of numbers to set off the random number seed. You can do whatever, and it does the seed. I usually don't worry about it because computers pick random numbers anyways. Not that they're truly random, but yeah, you know what I mean. And then basically human player or computer player, whatever you want for each side. Now the scenario length for the battle generator generated scenarios, the scenario length is determined by how big the map size is and how many points you have. That will determine what your base number of turns in the game is going to be. Now you can adjust that. You can go either one less turn or all the way up to 8 more turns than is normally decided. We don't have, I don't have a quick way of saying, all right, attack and defend, one-on-one, 200 points is going to be 6 turns. It might be 7 turns, it might be 5 turns, I don't have that exact information. And then, of course, Fog of War, none, initial full, for those of you who like the Fog of War, then you just go ahead and click the play scenario and bam, you go right into it and you play it like a regular scenario. Now, I did see someone was asking at one point, do achievements trigger for battle generator scenarios and for workshop scenarios? Yes, they do. So, yeah, that is kind of a way if you're really having a hard time hunting achievements. You could make up a scenario that makes it a little bit easier for to hunt the scenarios. We don't care, though. If you want to do it that way, that's fine. So that is basically the battle generator. It's a one-shot scenario. You just go in and, well, you know what? Let's just go ahead and see what we got out of this. So we've got single scenario, French versus the VC, meeting engagement, small maps here is the Pacific, specified point. Yeah, let's go with specified point. Let's go with random points. Let's go with random 200. Random scenario special rule, use unit rarity. Let's take a look at what we end up with. So we just hit play scenario, and it's going to go through and give me, all right, so now I've got my purchase. If I want to, I can examine the map, and there we go. Okay, so here's the scenario card. Meeting engagement. French and Viet Cong forces encounter each other unexpectedly. Neither side is dug in. Both quickly move to seize vital terrain objectives. The French are going to have 216. Viet Cong is going to have 212. That's that random number of points that I said, even though the base is at 200. Scenario length, 6 turns. French have initiative on turn 1. Victory conditions, VC or victory point comparisons for controlling marked hexes. Now let's see what marked hexes there are on the map. So there's this hex right here. And I love how far in I can zoom on that. Woo! That's N2, and you can see it's VC control because it's got the VC flag on it. And then there's this hex right here. Are there any other hexes to control? Nope, that looks like it. So that's the map. So we go, okay, and then we still got to go to purchase units. And then you just go through purchase units, and the computer will purchase its units using the seed. And let's take a look. Let's see, support weapons. All right, so we got the Boys anti-tank rifle. Since I took the unit rarity off, I'm able, of course, against the Viet Minh, I'm probably not going to see a lot of armor, so I wouldn't have to worry about taking the boys' anti-tank rifle. Anyways, so that is the battle generator. Let's go ahead and finish that and pop out of that and just go back to exit game, back to the main menu. So, all right, so that's the battle generator. Now let's look at the campaign of the battle generator. So if you want to do a campaign, which is a series of linked scenarios, click on campaign, and it changes this just a little bit. So we got campaign. Again, it's still side 1, side 2, which we want to be the aggressor. Which map pack do you want it to come from? Again, let's go with Heroes of the Nam. So we can be facing off against the VC. We'll take the VC as the computer player. We'll do a short campaign. And again, it just, you can do a random or, 3, 5, 9, 13, however many wins you want to go through. Not necessarily battles, how many wins. Why is this important? I'll get to that in a little bit. So let's go with the short. Again, starting map. As the campaign progresses, the maps will grow in size because you will get more and more points, and that goes into determining how many maps you're going to be playing with. So we got the Heroes of the Nam. Let's go ahead and choose the map pack. We're going to go ahead and Heroes with the Nam. Starting points 200. I'm not going to worry about the seed. So we've got three wins for the campaign. And the campaign is kind of cool because your forces carry over from game to game. Now, if you lose a unit or if squad is reduced to half squad or what have you, you do get some points in between each battle to try to rebuild your forces. And sometimes you'll get auxiliary points, which are extra points that you get that won't carry over to the next battle. So you very rarely will you see this in the first scenario, but in like the second or third or any scenarios after that, it's like, oh, you get an extra 100 points for auxiliary forces, but those 100 points will just be for that battle and won't carry over to the next battle. So there we got all that, and so let's go ahead and jump in. And then point balance here. If you want to give one side, more points, again, scenario length. And again, that's going to be determined by how big the map is, by how many points you have. Fog of War, if you want to play with that. So then you jump right into it. And then why do you want to play a 13? Other than just the joy of playing 13 in a row, we've got the RPG campaign for the leader. So basically, every nationality has 2 portraits of leaders that you can choose from. And this is basically you getting a chance to play you in the game. So you're going to have a counter if you want to do that. And this counter is, this leader counter is free. You don't have to pay for it. It's just included in your forces. And basically, as you are playing this leader, he will gain experience points through the battle. And it can be, rallying a squad. You can lose points for failing to rally a squad, win a melee, what have you. Anything that the leader can do, we've got a point value attached to it, be it positive or negative. And at the end of the scenario, you'll get a little recap of saying all the points you've gained and lost. And those experience points will carry over from battle to battle. And every time you get 10 experience points, you get to level up. And when you level up, your leadership modifier may increase, your morale may increase, your movement may increase, and you may even gain a special skill. So I think that's really, really cool. Now, what happens if you die in the game? Well, you'll lose a bunch of experience points, but you'll assume you got knocked out, you were wounded, whatever, you made it back to friendly lines. You just lose a lot of experience points. You just don't want to do that. So you want to do what you can to try to get as many experience points as you can with your dude, but you also don't want to do anything to. And of course, you can name it. It will automatically default with whatever your Steam name is. But let's just go ahead and we're not Pierre. I think I've got one too many R's in there. But anyway, select your campaign leader's portrait name. You begin leadership 0, morale 5, and a random movement factor of 5 to 8. The way you conduct yourself during the scenarios can also affect leadership and morale ratings. And ratings can increase or decrease based on your performance and scenario outcome. So one thing I should probably have pointed out is that, not right now, but we are working on implementing it, is that depending on what base game that you selected, in this case for this campaign, it's Heroes of Defiance. Instead of just always having random battles, we are going to have the ability that a scenario, a pre-done scenario from the base game that you've selected as your side, will be chosen. So you could be doing 2 or 3, randomly generated battles. Then all of a sudden it'll go ahead and toss you into an actual published printed scenario. If we're still working out on the exact details like that. For this one, there are no official scenarios of the French versus the VC. So we're not really sure if we're just going to keep it to the same if the aggressor, if side one and side two are from the same box set, or we're just going to say, we're going to pull scenarios from the official. We're still working out details on that. And if and when we do implement that, there will be an option that no official scenario. So if you just want to play complete random battle scenarios, that's fine. You got no problem with that. All right, so that's the campaign. That's the RPG element. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Now we will go right into us choosing our leaders, or our forces. So now remember, you've already got your one leader chosen. And what I usually like to start off with is I like to start off with squads and then go from there. So let's see. Yeah, so let's go with 9 squads. That's a full platoon. And I usually like to run my guys in stacks of 3. Not the most optimal way of doing it, but that's how I like to do it. So I've already got one leader that I know of. So let's go ahead and grab 2, and let's go ahead and grab him. So that's 3. So there'll be one leader for each one of them. And you know what? Let's go with one extra guy. Yeah, this guy's only worth 8 points. Let's go with him just in case. Any other SMCs, be it armor leaders, heroes, what have you. Then support weapons. Since I got 3 stacks, normally going to be running with 3 stacks. And the French really didn't use a lot of flamethrowers. And I'm fighting against the VC, so I don't really need the boys. And I don't like the Hotchkiss because it can jam. So let's take 3 FM2429s. We got 49 points left. Weapon teams. I always like to have some artillery support. So let's grab an 81mm mortar team. I got 29 points left. Oh, what can I get? What can I get? What can I get? I can get a Char... Now, okay, now granted, none of these tanks fought. I don't think any of these vehicles fought in French Indochina during the French VC or Viet Minh Wars. But, you know, it's just something fun to play with. Should I go with the Soma or the Renault? Let's go with the Soma. Soma's got a better... Well, that's armor piercing. I doubt I'm going to be running into many Viet Minh vehicles. So I really don't need armor penetration. It's more going to come down to, well, but he's got, yeah, the Renault, the Soma's got a better front armor. I could go with, the B1 Bis. Now let's go with the Soma. I like the Somas. Renaults were just cute little tanks. So yeah, let's go with the Soma. So I've got 13 points left over. Did I pick the, okay, so I've got the tank. What else can I grab? Any other weapon teams? I can grab a 25mm. Heavy machine gun. That's only 2 firepower though. 75mm. I don't think I'm going to be needing a 75mm field piece. Don't need an armor leader. Do I any other squads? 13 points. Any more other support weapons? No. Let's all right. Let's go with an armored car. Yeah. Let's go with the armored car. Oh, that's 21 points. I can't buy it. Oh well, 13 points. That's fine. Go ahead and finish. And see right here, if you had points for auxiliary units, you would have extra points, and then your auxiliary units would be chosen as a different force. It'd be added with your force, but you use different point pools. And like I said, it doesn't carry over from battle to battle. So let's see, I have 13 points left to spend. Yeah, you really finished. Yes, I'm really finished. And then here goes with our card again. French and VC forces encounter each other unexpectedly. Neither side are dug in, and both quickly move to seize vital terrain objectives. The French got 200. Viet Cong have 200. Viet Minh. 6 turns. French have initiative. Victory conditions. VP comparison points for controlling marked hexes. So this is... Okay, so it looks like I'm probably going to be coming in from this edge. Let's hit reinforcements. Let's just pick a unit, use selected unit. Oh, so I'm coming in from the bottom. Okay. But let's take a look at the map. VP, the victory point comparisons. We got 5 points worth of buildings or hexes, but 1 is worth 3 victory points, which is building F8, which is going to be this building right here. So this building right here is worth 3 victory points. And then, let's see, we've got this hex right here, which is worth a victory point, and that hex right here was worth a victory point. All right, so most of the fighting looks like it's going to be focused over here, as I need to capture that. So let's go with reinforcements. Let's bring, just to do a quick show of, and most everybody should already know how this is done. Make sure I button my vehicle. I do not want to assault. Use selected unit. Bring him on first, right there. Now, I guarantee the VC have got anti-tank assets. They've got recoilless rifles, they've got anti-tank guns, they've got RPGs. So, yeah, against an RPG, this thing's probably not going to last for long, but let's just go ahead and move him up here. Nobody shot at him yet. Oh, it's a meeting engagement, so they probably haven't even moved on yet. I could probably... Yeah, no, let's not move up that far. Let's go right there. And our impulse. Yep, and the VC are entering on from that map board. Yeah, see, and I still don't know what the full VC forces are. And then, then I pick my reinforcements, and the game continues on. And so after the game would be over, it would go ahead and tally up all the points that my character, Pierre here, has done. And if I got to that 10 XP threshold, now sometimes it may take you 2, 3, 4 battles in my case, sometimes of being able to get to that 10 XP. That's sometimes why you want to, if you really want to have your leader completely grow, you're going to want to do a longer campaign, be it 9, 13 scenarios, what have you. But that we threw that in there just because we figure people that have a lot of fun with it. It'll give you more connection to your forces, and it's just kind of something cool that give you an extra reason to play the campaign game. But anyways, like I said, if you get that 10 victory points, then there are going to be some random dice rolls going on behind the scenes, and your stats may increase. You may get a skill, so on and so forth, and just continue playing the campaigns and just have fun with it and watch your forces grow and shrink as you win and lose fights and so on and so forth. So yeah, there is some other cool things that we did want to show off, but I want to do a separate video for that because I think they deserve their own video, so we can focus on those primarily. It's 4 or 5 things. Probably be a 5 or 10 minute video. I'll probably work on that after this. But we just wanted to show you how the battle generator and the campaign generator work. Scenario editor is a whole nother ball of wax that's going to require a video in its own right. We will be getting that out soon. So, questions, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms in the comment section below. And I'll talk to everybody later. Hiya!